You know, have you ever watched a perfectly dubbed movie or just been totally captivated by an animated character and thought to yourself, man, I want to be the voice bringing that to life? Well, if so, you are in exactly the right place. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into the absolute ultimate career blueprint for becoming a professional dubbing artist or voice actor. We're going to break down everything you need to know from the source material to go from just an aspiring voice enthusiast to a fully working professional right behind the microphone. So here's a quick look at our roadmap for the journey today. 1. Is voice acting for you? 2. The educational pathway. 3. Funding your dream. 4. Where will you work? And 5. The blueprint to success. Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. Is voice acting for you? The personality vibe check. Right off the bat, before you go worrying about buying expensive microphones or renting soundproof studios, we really have to ask the most essential question. Do you actually have the traits to be a dubbing artist? It's a super common misconception that all you really need is, a cool voice. But honestly, in reality, it's all about whether your personality actually aligns with unique demands of portraying complex characters and effectively conveying that information to an audience day in and day out. There are some core personality traits drawn directly from our source material that you're definitely going to need. Naturally, you need a deep interest in artistic occupations, and you absolutely must be comfortable communicating with others. But look closely at that third point. You need to be a great listener, which is kind of hilarious, right? Because you're looking at a career where you literally talk all day. But listening to the director's cues, the pacing of the original actor, and the feedback from your team is actually what makes the performance work. Plus, a dubbing artist does not work in a vacuum. You've got to be highly comfortable collaborating as part of a much larger production team. And when all those traits finally come together, this is the magic. That's the ultimate end goal right there. Standing at the mic, script in hand, headphones locked in, and just channeling all your artistic passion into breathing actual life into a character. Moving right along to Section 2, the educational pathway, acquiring the tools. So the process to get there is surprisingly structured. It basically breaks down into this exact 3-step educational pathway. Step 1. Complete your 10+2. Step 2. Complete a bachelor's degree. Now, what is absolutely fantastic about this is that for both your 10+2 and your bachelor's degree, you can study in literally any stream or field. You don't have to be a theater major to get started. The specialized hyper-focused training comes in at Step 3, where you finally complete a dedicated diploma course specifically in dubbing. Which brings us to Section 3, funding your dream, overcoming financial obstacles. For your dubbing diploma, the approximate course fee ranges anywhere from 2,500 to 100,000 Indian rupees. Keep in mind, this is an estimated investment, and that exact number is definitely going to vary quite a bit depending on the specific institute you end up choosing. But it does give you a very realistic benchmark of what you need to plan for to get your foot in the door. Now, if the higher end of that range looks a bit intimidating, seriously, don't panic. Let's compare the two primary avenues for funding your education. On the scholarship side, you can hit up the National Scholarship Portal, which houses various central government schemes, UGC and AICTE schemes, and state-level grants. Plus, individual institutes very often offer their own merit-based scholarships. On the loan side, pretty much all banks give out education loans, but you can streamline that whole headache through the Vidya Lakshmi Portal, which is a government-guided platform where students can view, apply, and track education loan applications all in one single place. Also, there are some really specific regional advantages depending on exactly where you're located. Some states, specifically West Bengal, Odisha, and Bihar, actually offer student credit cards with very low interest rates. So it definitely pays to do a little digging and check out the local resources available in your specific state. All right, Section 4, where will you work? The ultimate reward. Your new office is going to be incredibly dynamic. Dubbing artists are completely essential across so many diverse media hubs. I mean, you could find yourself working in movie studios, dubbing massive international blockbusters, doing punchy, high-energy voiceovers for advertisement agencies, or working day-to-day with radio channels and television stations. It is just a vast, incredibly fast-paced industry. But what does the day-to-day grind actually feel like? The reality of the work environment is that it is a full-time, very serious commitment. You're typically looking at working 5 to 6 days a week for 8 to 9 hours a day. And because media production deadlines are infamously tight and studios basically run around the clock, shift systems are highly applicable. You've really got to be ready to put in the hours whenever the studio needs you. And this brilliantly illustrates the payoff. The approximate expected monthly income ranges from 15,000 to 25,000 Indian rupees just to start. Think back to our earlier fee discussion for a second. Your initial educational investment can be quite quickly offset once you enter the industry and actually start earning a steady paycheck in this bracket. I also want to take a quick moment to highlight something that I think is incredibly important. This profession is highly inclusive. Tremendous opportunities exist for differently abled individuals in this field. Because the primary requirement is your voice and your acting ability, the physical barriers that might be a hurdle in on-screen acting or other physical jobs, they simply do not apply in the recording booth. It's truly a level playing field. And finally, Section 5, the blueprint to success, institutes and inspiration. So, to get you looking in the right direction, here are a few specific training institutes across India. Remember, your foundational bachelor's degree can be from literally any UGC-recognized college. But for the dubbing diploma itself, you can check out places like voice modulation training in Mumbai or RK Films and Media Academy over in New Delhi. And hey, if you need the flexibility of distance learning, the Indira Gandhi National Open University, better known as IGNOU, is a fantastic option right on the board. Once you graduate, your growth path is fairly direct. You'll likely start out simply as a trainee dubbing artist. This is where you learn the ropes, figure out studio etiquette, and really practice your timing. From there, as you gain experience and build your reel, you advance to a full dubbing artist, taking on larger, way more complex, and of course, higher-paying roles. Getting there takes serious grit. A working professional spends a huge amount of time diligently at their desk set up, matching audio to visuals, reviewing scripts over and over, and just perfecting their craft. Which brings us perfectly to our real-world success story. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer volume of work achieved by Savitha Reddy, who is a tremendously famous dubbing artist in the southern film industry of India. Just look at those numbers for a second. Over 20 years of experience, and she has worked in over 1,000 films. It's an absolutely massive achievement, and it is living, breathing proof of the incredible career longevity and success that is entirely possible in this field. Her origin story is so fascinating, too. Her very first big break in the industry was voicing for the actress Rishibala Naval, who is also known as Simran, in the Telugu movie Kalasandam Ra. Following that, the dubbing projects just kept pouring in. And, tying perfectly back to our earlier point about your bachelor's degree being in any field, get this. Savitha Reddy actually holds an MBA in advertising from Annamalai University. Your background absolutely does not limit your potential once you step into that booth. So that leaves us with one final, provocative question. What character will you bring to life? You've seen the blueprint. You know the traits you need, the educational pathway to follow, the costs, the potential earnings, and the incredible, long-lasting success that is entirely within your reach. The microphone is literally waiting. The only question now is, are you ready to take that first step and let your voice be heard?